It's a shame that us Saints fans are one of the most loyal, passionate fan bases in the NFL because the Saints organization just continues to spit in our faces week in and week out with the product that they actively choose to put out on the field. Cold hard truth is the New Orleans Saints will never, ever, ever win anything of significance with Dennis Allen as their head coach and with Pete Carmichael as their offensive coordinator. That's just the truth of it. Do you guys really imagine Dennis Allen out coaching an Andy Reid or Kyle Shanahan or anything like that in a game of significance? I mean, the guy is now 18 and 41 as a head coach, right? And I was rooting for DA this year. I was hoping he would change his ways. But when he and Mickey Loomis and then Saints organization practically begged a guy who did not want to be the Saints offensive coordinator, they begged him to stay. They asked him to stay. Pete Carmichael, I'm done blaming Pete Carmichael. Pete Carmichael did not want this job. He did not want this job. He was ready to leave town. The Saints wanted him to stay. And the fact here we are now, going on a year and a half of the same pathetic offensive performances. All the personnel can change in the world. We can have all the stars in the world. It does not matter if you have this group of coaches designing and calling plays for the offense. Truly, truly pitiful stuff today. Like I said, the guy is 18 and 41 as a head coach now. And people like to say, oh, you shouldn't count his Raiders tenure against him. Why not? Why not? I mean, if you remember watching him back with the Raiders, it's the little things that beat him, even back then, that are still occurring on his teams today. The penalties, the lack of discipline, choking in clutch moments. This is coaching. And if you're one of those that want to blame the quarterback position for the lack of success this year, that's fine. But you know what? You have to also accept Dennis Allen chose that guy, right? Twice. He chose him back with the Raiders and he chose him again this year. So if you want to blame the quarterback, blame the guy that brought him to New Orleans. And I'm not saying Derek Carr is completely blameless in this. He is pitiful in the red zone, right? He has been awful in the red zone his entire career. Every single Raider fan in the world has told us this, right? As soon as he signed with us, he said, get ready to not score in the red zone. And it looks like they were unfortunately right. I mean, you got what it was 4th and 4 down in the red zone, down a touchdown, fourth quarter. This man, I don't know. I'm not sure. I have to look at the film what the play call was. Threw behind the sticks on a check down to Alvin Kamara on 4th and 4, essentially almost for the game. Think about that for a second. We throw 4th and 4 behind the sticks on a check down. Just throw it up. Do anything is better than that. I understand it's Alvin Kamara, right? And he can do special things. But you cannot ask Alvin Kamara to catch the ball behind the sticks and make multiple defenders miss with no blockers. It's just unreasonable and dumb. And then there at the end of the game, the Saints do a good job going down the field. Texans are playing soft, so don't get it confused. Offense didn't look good right there. The Texans were just playing off. Get to the red zone, and once again, what was it? 3, 4 straight plays of just chunking it like towards the end zone. What are we doing? Like, again, I have to look at the film to see what plays they were actually running, but either the play calling, decision making from the quarterback, or both was absolutely atrocious right there towards the end. I mean, you essentially gave your guy no shot. And on that last fourth down to end the game, the Texans are playing 10, 12 yards backed off. I don't understand why we're just tossing the ball. I understand it's Michael Thomas, but like I said, they're playing so far off. That is a 0% chance, play that you're throwing. And the Texans have been sending heat at you all game on third downs. Have something built in to beat that. I didn't see any of that, right? Instead of just running the fades or the goes, maybe break in for a short post it's just all around just terrible, terrible stuff. And another thing I want to mention is so the Saints, benched Trevor Penning. He ended up playing today, but they benched Trevor Penning apparently because of his struggles in the run game, because of a lack of success running to the left. Was running to the left really going to win you the game today? Was it worth shaking the young player's confidence, a player who was just starting to build confidence and get better each and every week? I know running was supposed to be his strength, run blocking, and he struggled with that, but that is not what you do. When you develop a player like Trevor Penning from a small school, you have to be willing to accept the growing pains. We're talking about a guy who did not start or play his entire rookie year because he was hurt. He's just starting or playing in his seventh game ever as a starter, and he didn't even start today, so you can't count that. And so what that does is that shakes his confidence. Like, oh my God, This guy, like I said, was getting better week in and week out in terms of pass protection at least. And now all of a sudden he's benched, and then he has to come in a game for an injured James Hurst. And now instead of just going out there and playing ball and continuing to get better, he's overthinking every single rep he takes. Now he's just overthinking everything, and he can't just go play. So that right there to me is a absolute coaching malpractice again on the Mr. 18 and 41 overall record. And then this defense, man, we were fooled last week. How bad are the Patriots really? I mean, my God, how bad are the Patriots? That first half against the Texans today was some of the most, I mean, low effort trash defense ever. Like that was horrible. Missed tackles, just no effort. Defensive line was getting bullied, thrown around. Marshawn Lattimore was getting beat left and right. It was just all bad. They did bounce back in the second half, but again, first half, the Texans almost had the Texans, who are not a good rushing offense, mind you, almost had 100 yards rushing in the first half. That is unacceptable. And I mean, you put all these things together, and then your rookie kicker missing a chip shot field goal and another one, leaving 6 points on the field. You know, it's just all bad right now. But the sad thing is, nothing will happen. Mickey Loomis is probably sitting back smoking his cigars. Gail's probably on some vacation right now. Nothing will happen. We play the Jacksonville Jaguars on Thursday night, and I have never once in my life rooted for the New Orleans Saints to lose. But man, if that's what it's going to take to get some changes, like with the world watching Thursday night, if they go out there and they get absolutely mollywopped, maybe then a change will happen. I don't know, but this is just unacceptable. Saints fans are way too passionate, care way too much for the Saints organization and front office to just keep putting this same god awful product on the field week after week.